Hey, what's up guys? There's this guy called Uncommon Sense, which has been getting recommended to me on YouTube. We will first look at an older video of his, which is his most popular one, and then we'll see what he's up to now. This is from a few years ago.
This is about looks, of course, and just want to tell you that I've never been a handsome guy, never. Like my best friend in high
Yes, he's slightly below average. He definitely doesn't look in any way special, not attractive.
lost like 3 kilos. You know, it didn't show that much in the abs. What I noticed when I took a photo of myself,
It didn't make him look any more attractive. The problem is his face. You cannot change it by working out.
from behind was that on my rear delts, of all places, I've lost fat. So, you know, you learn how much fat you actually store.
It's very interesting how these people get obsessed with the rest of their body, seeing as they know that they can't change their face, which is actually the problem. Although technically you could with some kind of surgery, which most people don't even think about. And that doesn't change your genes anyway. It's just very interesting what happens in their minds, that they start thinking about their delts and all of these body parts which no human being would ever think about.
Being sexy is a good thing. And this I've learned, not so much with the women, but with the gays that that rule over me, and they are much worse. Men are worse, you know. To add to the last point, men are worse with this kind of behavior. I'm just making the point that women do it too. But when gay guys start telling me, I bet you have a big dick and stuff like that, you know, it's not a compliment. And actually, I had one guy that pretended to contact me because he wanted to make a lifestyle change, you know. And then,
as far as I understand, because of the working out, he actually got more attention from men, which is very common because in general, if you go to the gym, who's going to compliment you the most about your biceps, triceps, whatever? It's going to be men, 99% of the time, except if some woman, for whatever reason, is into that. There's very few women who have some kind of a fetish or whatever, who are into huge muscles or even steroid bodies, but it's incredibly rare. Realistically, it's almost always going to be men who will be into your physique. Not that they necessarily find you attractive in that sense, but in his case, from what I understand, he found out that he actually got more attention from men, that kind of an attention because of his working out. Which is what I've been saying in all of my videos. That's the kind of attention you can expect. You shouldn't expect to get attention from women if you work out.
he just went on and on about how hot I was. So I told him to go F himself. And then he said that I should just, it's a compliment, I should just take it. And now, women, I understand you.
Yeah, it's a compliment, but as far as I understand, he didn't want the compliment from this specific guy. It's the same way women don't want compliments from men, which they are not attracted to, because it implies that he would have some kind of a chance with you or something along those lines. It's just something that you don't even want in your life. That's what he's experiencing, but the other way around.
You never asked for that, for this creepy person that you have no interest in, drooling over you and calling you sexy and stuff like that. So I feel you on that one.
Yes, it's very simple. You want to be called attractive by somebody who you yourself find attractive, and you don't want to be called attractive by somebody you don't find attractive. That's it.
Most people, whether they want to admit it or not, are super impressed with being ripped because, you know, many guys, for instance, they can go to the gym and lift weights and get a bit stronger, but they can't get the ripped look. And obviously women just, it's a bigger thing with weight loss for women. But for me, I've gotten mostly guys. Some people, it's like they think you're a...
He says that people are generally impressed by a guy being ripped, but then he says that he, again, mostly got attention from men. He really probably means that he only got attention from men, realistically.
God, like, I'm just some guy, you know, I'm just some Swedish guy that started working out, made some nice progress, you know.
This video was called What Being Ripped Taught Me About Women. He should have come to the conclusion that being ripped doesn't attract women, seeing as he only got attention from men. As far as I understood, if from women also, then incredibly little attention, probably from some gym-going women. That was years ago. Then he made a video called I have not had sex in 4 years. What kind of a conclusion could you come to if that happens? We'll look at what he's doing right now and what his mindset is. We'll be looking at this video right here. Real men are ripped.
Yo guys, Coach Theo here on Common Sense.
The first thing that I notice is that he looks quite a lot older. Yes, some time has gone by, but kind of abnormally a lot of wrinkles all of a sudden. That's what happens when you work out. In case you don't understand, the more you work out, the more you eat, the more you're going to age. It's just because you have way more stress in your life. It's not normal.
Real men are ripped is the indisputable fact we'll be discussing today, so
you should never call your beliefs a fact, or especially an indisputable fact. It simply makes you look close-minded, because realistically, we are simply sharing beliefs online. That's all that we can do on the internet. If you call your beliefs a fact, then right away people should know, okay, this guy cannot really be taken seriously because he's so full of himself that he believes that what he believes are facts. It's what you know, but this is not about what you know. It's just sharing your opinion.
I'll be telling you exactly why that is, what my definition of being ripped is, and the shape I know that every man could be in and definitely should be in. But first, let's get to some of the...
You don't look normal. You don't look like a natural man whatsoever. You look like somebody who's compensating because of his unattractive face. That's it. And your face has gotten even more unattractive because it looks a lot older now. I don't know how old this guy is, but he looks like he's in his 30s now. In the first video, he looked like he was in his 20s.
Excuses that inevitably will have popped into the heads of some people watching, like, nah, it's not just about the body, it doesn't matter how you...
Only reason he's in better shape than me is steroids. The guy is drinking beer, which is estrogenic and actually creates the beer belly. It's made from grains. Obviously, you're gonna look like that. And then probably all kinds of other processed carbohydrates. That's the reason why he looks the way he looks. Has nothing to do with working out, exercise, or any of that. Nobody in nature works out, as in literally zero people. Nobody. None of them look like that. People who look like this are modern slaves.
Look, you can totally be a man, regardless of how you look. Oh yeah, you could totally be a fat fuck, still be 100% man. Oh yeah, you can be skinny and frail and look as if your arm is about to break if someone just shakes your hand.
If you would look like that, then you would have brittle bones, small bones, you would be underdeveloped. That would have nothing to do with working out or with muscles. It would be your bone structure, most likely because of malnourishment as a child, and partly also genetics. Why do you talk about it as if it has something to do with working out? It's just stupid.
A little too hard and still be a man. Look, guys, even if I grant you that the physical is not all there is to being a man, not even close, in fact, it's still undeniable that...
How is it not? It's basically everything, because the way you look like is gonna shape your so-called character also, if that's what you're implying. How could a man not be his physical body? How else do you know if a man is a man? You look at somebody and you see that they are a man. What else is there?
Literally every man would be a better version of himself if he also was really fit, right? Physical fitness is a cornerstone of masculinity.
No, I absolutely disagree, and that's because physical fitness, in this case, when it comes to going to the gym, is you adapting your body to lifting man-made metal for no reason. When you become fit for the gym, just to clarify it, then you adapt your body to the stress of lifting man-made metal for no reason. And then the next time you go to the gym, you're better at lifting man-made metal for no reason. But that's it. If you run, then you become better at running. The next time you can run for even longer. Does it help you in any way in real life? You simply stress your body, you create more wrinkles, become more unattractive, and reduce your lifespan. That's it. That's what physical fitness means to him.
And there's just never gonna be a situation where it's more beneficial.
Nice natural clouds, by the way. That's great. Rare to see nowadays, especially in Europe.
To be unhealthier, to be less conditioned, to be fatter, to be sicker, to be weaker. It's just never going to be. Even when we're talking about the domains that aren't physical at all, like, let's say a scientist. Jacked scientist, always going to be better than his skinny fat counterpart, or the skinny fat version of himself, rather, right? Because, you know,
the only way you can become skinny fat is if you eat unnatural food. That's it. Again, that's why in nature there are no skinny fat people. And again, none of them work out. It only has to do with food.
Scientist, he is healthier, he's disciplined, hardworking, he's going to have higher energy, more ability to work. Of course.
Is this guy joking? I can't even tell. If you work out and you're fit, as in fit to lift man-made metal for no reason, then you're gonna sleep way longer than the other scientist. The scientist, even if he eats junk food, and obviously I don't promote it in any way, he's still gonna be a lot more active and will have a lot more time to research whatever topic, whatever the scientist would be doing. The scientist on the junk food diet, even if he's skinny fat, is going to sleep 7 to 8 hours a day, whereas the bodybuilder is going to sleep 10 to 12 hours a day. And then he's going to take a nap on top of that. And he's generally going to be lethargic, will need a lot of coffee, and so on. In every way, the one who's going to be working out is going to be worse off. No matter what job you're doing, you're always going to have a lot less energy. You're going to be a lower energy human being. How is that better?
He's superior to the skinny fat scientist. Something like a teacher, you know, if the teacher is jacked, the kids might actually respect this guy and view him as a role model. Like, we should listen to him. Yeah, I told him.
Absolute nonsense. That's not true whatsoever. And even if it was the case for a few kids who are easy to influence, then it would only be so because they don't have a father to look up to. They will simply choose the teacher to look up to, but influencing them to lift weights will only ruin their lives, decrease their testosterone, actually stunt their development. It's horrible.
Be like Professor Theo when I grow up, not like just a skinny fat clown. Like, yeah, we're quiet sometimes, but we kind of don't really respect him, you know. We make a big scene, don't listen to him talk a lot on his lessons, because he's just a little skinny fat clown. Look, guys, let's go through one thing at a time. So my definition of being ripped is not that of someone who's into like contest bodybuilding, because that scale is like, so I consider that my shape right now is to the typical person. I'm ripped, right? Just men, soldiers, right? Like, everyone has to fight, everyone has to use their body, but there are different strengths and weaknesses to different. We need different kinds of fighters, is what I'm saying. So my point is that it's not that every man just has to max out muscle mass. You know, someone like me.
Does he see bodybuilders or people who go to the gym as fighters, or what was he trying to imply there?
You know, I'm the guy moving with a heavy two-handed sword, like, ah! But we need more agile men with smaller swords or with bows and whatever too. They still fit though. So what I'm saying is, the shape that I know every man could be in and that he should be in.
Yes, but you don't even do any of that. That's the whole joke. The bodybuilders of today simply go and lift metal for no reason. They're not benefiting anybody. They're simply decreasing their own lifespans and also the people that they influence. They are destroying their own lives and the lives of the people who watch them. I don't really get what he's trying to say here. You are not a fighter. None of the people who go to the gym are fighters, as in people who actually fight for something that's worthy, so to speak, which I can't really talk about on YouTube today. You could actually do a lot. You could actually be a true fighter and make this earth a better place. All of the bodybuilders of today are absolute pussies. What else can you call them? They are not fighting for anything. There's just no benefits to anything that they do. They simply go to a slave building to lift metal.
Is that you should have some muscle on your entire frame, and you should.
Every human being has muscle on their frame. If they didn't, then they would die. We die without muscle.
When you're lean enough, it's going to pop, and this is the look, I mean, that every man should have, that even if you maybe are into other sports, it's not just about lifting heavy and building muscle. You should have some muscle, because that will benefit you in all these other areas, apart from your health, and that, of course. So I'm saying...
Yes, there you go. You right away can find out that he's brainwashed by him mentioning that it has some kind of benefit for his health. And that's the problem. If bodybuilders would understand how incredibly unhealthy bodybuilding is, then a lot of them would quit doing it. Probably over 90%. It's just that they have been taught over and over again that it's healthy for them. Why would you do something that's unhealthy? You would only do it if you hate yourself anyway. But if you actually in some way want to live and see your children grow up and so on, would you then do something that decreases your lifespan and is unhealthy for you? No, of course not. That's the whole problem. Do bodybuilding if you want to do it, whatever. Do whatever you want in your life, who cares? As long as you realize that it's unhealthy, and as long as you don't promote it by telling other people that it's healthy.
The shape that every man could be in is like, really, I'm thinking of the shape I was in after 2 years. Let's see if I can find that. Like even 1 year, to be honest, like I was way smaller than I was right now, but
He looked sort of skinny fat because of the tummy, and that's simply because of his horrible diet. That's it. When people start bodybuilding, they start eating more meat, usually. They generally, for sure, change their diets.
This person is just enjoying the sensory pleasure of putting a bunch of processed junk drugs into their mouth, really. So you see, when you stay disciplined, you feel.
That's true. There are actual drugs in junk food.
The lower end of a healthier body fat percentage and with some muscle mass. Exactly how much that muscle mass, it depends on what kind of fighter you are, you know. It's like, again, you know, take me, with martial arts or something. There would be one faster, boxing guy, right? He would still have muscle. He'd just not be huge, and he'll be ripped, right? Then you can have, like, a wrestler with I'm not so agile, I'm not so fast, I'm more like big and brute strength. But
that's exactly true, and that's why he would have zero chance against me in a fight. And I mean, literally zero. And that's because there's no way that he would ever even get to touch me. It would be literally impossible. I would bet everything that I have that I would win every fight I could ever possibly have with him 1,000,000 times over. Of course, naturally, there would only be one fight that I would have against him.
It's incredible to me that there are guys that are so into like playing games and leveling up their character in the game and are completely missing out on the fact that you have a much more exciting game with infinite room for development, and it's actually you're leveling up in the video game of life, right?
How are you leveling yourself up? You don't have a mate. You have nobody to reproduce with because women don't find you attractive, from what we have found out. You even went 4 years without. I don't know what his situation is right now, months later. And that's just because you probably start looking older and older. At least he goes out into the sun. That's great, as much sun as you can get in Sweden. In summer you can. But the problem is that you're, of course, not leveling up. Leveling up would be you having a lot of children and improving your health by eating what you're naturally supposed to as a human being, which is raw meat, organs. You should drink blood. You should, in Sweden, hunt animals, reindeer, or whatever you can find there. Eat their organs, get proper wild meat. That's actually something that you can do. Then you could actually call yourself a man, at least somewhat. You could actually call yourself a fighter, so to speak, but you just go to a building to lift man-made metal for no reason. What are you actually doing? Just nothing. How are you leveling up in any way? You're destroying your life.
But the other thing is that even if you're thinking that, I've never really been into so much like looking a certain way. Honestly, that's what we've got to understand. For me, I love having the fun of building my sculpture here, but it's not really about the look. It's about...
Yeah, but it's not fun. Nobody likes going to the gym, and you know that. You know that you hate it. You know that you never look forward to it. Film yourself or take a photo of yourself while you're working out. Do you enjoy it? Is there any joy? Any glimpse of happiness? Anything even close to that? Of course not. Never will be. There's not one video or photo that has ever been taken in a gym where you can see anybody even close to enjoying anything that they do there. There's just no joy there. It's anti-joy. Everybody knows that.
Becoming the man, being the man that does the hard work, right? People think they're looking for the result in the look many times, but what you're really looking for is being the man whose just way of being manifests itself into that look. It was never really about the look. So while I love my physique, I love my body, I think it's very good looking, I think it's cool when I have a good pump and take a good picture and all that, it still comes...
It looks abnormal. It's all cool to have some muscle mass, which is just normal, it's natural. You just look like somebody who lifts a bunch of metal for no reason. That's exactly how you look like. That's what your body has adapted to. It doesn't look normal. you look abnormal because nobody in nature does anything like this.
Me looking better, and also these changes I'm talking about, becoming the man that looks better, that will also benefit me with girls, but that shouldn't be your main motivation. But how is it so obvious that being ripped is like being in a certain shape is what a man should be? It's like, it's again, you should never go for being the Chad for like external results. You should go
The Chad. Oh wow, oh wow. Oh, this is actually sad. It's turning into a sad video because he actually believes that having an unattractive face but going to the gym to lift metal is gonna make you into a Chad. Being a Chad is based on your face and your height. I don't know how tall this guy is, but he will never be a so-called Chad. Maybe if he would do 10 different kinds of plastic surgeries, and even then, it'd probably go wrong. That's interesting. There's actually guys out there who believe that getting more muscle mass makes you into a Chad. That's interesting. You're actually that delusional out there. Wow. No, seriously, I'm actually surprised, kind of. I've kind of heard this before, but not like this. This truly means that some gym goers out there believe that going to the gym makes them a Chad. Wow, that's really delusional. You're really not living in reality. You're completely somewhere out there. I could actually say that you have somewhat of a mental illness if you believe that.
Go for it because it's the right thing to do. As a man, you should follow your mission ordained by God, right? Be what you think a man should.
Yes, your mission is go to gyms, which started a few decades ago, man-made buildings, which have nothing to do with God, creation, or nature.
Be, but I'm just telling you, be aware that you get all these external results that people are just so obviously impressed with you everywhere.
You already admitted that only men are impressed with what you do, your body.
Look at you, I catch people staring at me all the time. I'm also talking...
Yeah, guys, other guys. That's what you said yourself. Whatever, if you're into that, I don't care. I'm not judging that, so to speak.
Not when I'm not necessarily when I'm shirtless. There's a bumblebee here. Why? Why do they always have to be right in my face when I'm recording videos? You know, what can even collect from me? If you want to manifest confidence, status, admiration and stuff, you become admirable. You reach that shape, you become it. Okay, guys, so I'll tell you the last thing, okay, very last thing, just so you know what you're supposed to do now after watching this video. If you are skinny fat, completely new to this, congratulations. All you have to do is eat high protein and eat slightly below your maintenance.
Now, if you're skinny fat, then you should start eating raw meat from healthy animals, get meat from good sources, then get raw eggs even, again, from a good source. If you can find liver, you need a lot of liver, organs in general, blood if you can get it. That's hard, of course, in most countries. That's it, and you're gonna turn from a skinny fat guy to a normal, natural looking guy with higher testosterone than this guy has, because this guy works out, which means that he lowers his testosterone.
Start crushing those weights. You'll melt progressively overload in the gym. You'll melt off fat as you put on muscle, and then when either starts to stall or both, you can now choose, should I put on muscle or should I cut down? If you have some muscle already, but you're quite soft, your mission is now to cut down, all right?
I'm not completely against putting on some muscle if you're extremely underdeveloped or more so malnourished. If you went through something, I would kind of get it, even though really it's 99% diet. There's really no point in working out. You will actually gain muscle mass if your testosterone rises. That's why people who inject testosterone still gain muscle, even more muscle than people who work out. There's been studies done on this. Of course, it's in a natural amount of testosterone, but my point is that there's no need for actually working out to increase your muscle mass. That's why also naturally, if you eat absolutely perfect good food, your muscle mass will increase. I would pretty much never recommend working out.
Cut down, lose that baby fat for good. And if you are just skinny and frail looking, well, you should bulk up first. Put on the muscle mass first.
The video was filmed in a nice location. I'll give it to him. It reminds me of my videos. The green grass, trees, as I said before, natural clouds, very nice to see. He gets sunlight, that's all cool, but at the end of the day, he's still just another slave who goes to this building together with other slaves to lift metal. And that's because men today are oppressed. They don't know what else to do. They actually believe that they will become fighters by doing this. That's something new. I had never heard about that before, but maybe people are that delusional. If they actually believe that they can become chads by working out, then I wouldn't be surprised if there's more men out there who believe that they will also become fighters by lifting metal. You're literally just sitting there, pulling or pushing metal. You're not benefiting anybody in any way. Fighters fight for whatever they want, which would be naturally what nature wants them to do, which is what they really want to do. Of course, today there's still a lot of stuff that you could fight for, and there's a lot of ways to do it, but nobody is doing that. The people who go to the gym will most definitely not do that. They simply look in the mirror, they flex, and this guy is a tiny bit better than those guys. At least he's outside. He's trying to motivate people to do something, even though you can't really motivate anybody to do anything if they don't want to do it. And he's motivating people to do the wrong stuff, but still, at least he's doing something. He's very, very slightly better than most of those gym guys who simply make red pill videos of how to attract women by talking to them in the right way, which is nonsense. They simply stare at the mirror in the videos, go to parties, just absolute nonsense. That's why I'm saying that at least he's out in nature, you could say, trying to do something even though it's wrong what he's promoting. I absolutely understand why men who are lost, depressed, didn't have a father when they grew up, would look up to him. They don't understand that what they actually need to do is to follow nature. They need to start eating natural food. As I said, they need to create a family, if that's even an option. It always is an option, but not always the way you want it to be. Can't really talk about this on YouTube, but there's definitely always ways to do it. And if you can't find a way, then you need to try. You just need to do it. That's it. Very hard to talk about this on YouTube because I can't give any details whatsoever. But for sure, you can be a fighter, and the more naturally you eat, the more biochemically, hormonally healthy you will be, and the more you will understand what you're actually supposed to do as a man to become a true fighter. This kind of a lifestyle is going to make you simply into a slave who goes to a building with other slaves lifting metal, and you're just not doing anything. You're not fighting for anything. It's just absolute losers. Thanks for watching.